Hi everybody! Thank you for joining us for our April Kind Club, which of course stands for Kids Interested in Novels of Diversity. And my name is Miss Emily. I'm going to be telling you about our book pick this month, which I think is the first book so far to make me cry. So maybe you'll join me in that, so I'm not weepy alone. But yeah, the book that we're reading this month is called When Stars Are Scattered. And this was a joint project by Victoria Jamieson, who is an established graphic novelist, author, and Omar Mohammed, who is actually the main character of this book, Omar. And you can see him here on the cover. He's the older brother, and this is his younger brother, Hassan, who he takes care of. And I recently learned that Omar actually lives in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So if you're from this area, the Harrisburg area, you'll probably be as excited as I was to learn that, because he and his family now live only 45 minutes away. So he's in our area, which is so cool. And maybe someday we'll even get a chance to meet him or have him come to the library. I would love if that could happen, but for now we can certainly read his story. And this is a story about these two brothers who are living in a camp. Now, this is not like a summer camp. They're not at this camp for fun. They actually live in this camp permanently, and it is not where they were born. It is not where they spent their first few years, but they had to leave their home country of Somalia in Africa because there was a war going on. And this is based on a true story, remember. So when the war came to their home country, they had to flee, they had to leave if they wanted to stay safe. So they ended up in this refugee camp in Kenya, which is another country in Africa. And this is where they grew up. This is where they spent most of their childhood. And it's just the story of how they survived, basically, how they managed to move on with their life and try to make their lives better. So this story also includes other characters. Omar's friends, Nemo and Miriam, they are both girls living at the camp, and we learn that life is a bit different for girls than it is for boys in this refugee community, because a lot of the girls are not encouraged to go to school like Omar is. So a lot of the girls are expected to stay home and cook, clean, take care of the children in the family, while the boys go to school. And the whole story, Omar is upset by this because his friends Nemo and Miriam are actually two of the smartest kids that he knows in his community. So he knows that they want to be going to school and they should be going to school, but we learn that life is not fair where they live. And a lot of girls don't get the same opportunities as the boys do. And even Omar, who does get the opportunity to go to school, it's very stressful for him because he knows that he has to work as hard as he possibly can in order to get a chance of getting resettled or being able to move to another country, because he doesn't want to stay in this camp for the rest of his life. You can imagine. They're living in tents, they don't have very good food, they have to sleep on the ground, so he doesn't want to live here forever. And he also doesn't know where his parents are. His parents are missing. He has a foster mom named Fatuma who takes care of Omar and his brother Hassan, but of course it's not the same as his real parents. He misses his parents and he's searching for them throughout the entire story. So this story, I think, really teaches that even though you may work as hard as you can for something, sometimes success is not determined on how hard you work. Sometimes it's not fair like that. Sometimes It depends on just luck, and maybe knowing the right people. Omar meets a special person who works at the UN, the United Nations, and she ends up helping Omar. But that was very lucky. That didn't happen to a lot of Omar's other friends, and of course that created tension in his life when maybe he was given opportunities that his friends were not. And so it's a very complicated story. I think it's probably the heaviest story that we've read so far, but I really hope you enjoy it. And I also encourage you to think about how it makes you feel about your own life and the opportunities that you have, mostly in terms of going to school. So I know for a lot of us, school is a drag, it's boring, and some days you wake up and you just wonder, why do I have to go to school? Especially, now with the pandemic, it's gotten harder for everybody. But I think it's so important to remember that school is, as annoying as it can be sometimes, it is a privilege, because some people, either don't get to go to school, or they do go to school and they work really hard, but it still doesn't help them, because, in order for Omar and Hassan or any of these refugees to get to move to another country, the other country usually wants those people to be educated, right, and have skills that can benefit their country. So if you don't have that education and you don't have those skills, your chances are lower of being able to get out of your bad situation and move somewhere else. And I think it's also important to note that moving to another country, such as America, where Omar and his family live now, was not their first choice, right? Their ideal situation would be moving back to their home country of Somalia. They didn't want to leave Somalia, right? That was where they were born. That was their home, but they were forced to leave. And so you'll see throughout the story, Omar really, would prefer to go back to Somalia and go back to his old life and, find his parents and start over. But the next best thing would be moving, just getting out of this refugee camp and starting a life somewhere. So you'll see how that all plays out for Omar. But going to school, it doesn't just give us more opportunities, but it also makes us better people, because we are taught other perspectives and other ideas besides our own, right? So it makes us more compassionate people, and it makes us better friends and better family members. And so there's so many good reasons to want to go to school and get an education. So I hope you'll try to remember that, even though I know some days you just don't want to do it, right? I totally understand, but I think that reading Omar's story might give you a different perspective. So that's definitely something that you can talk about, hopefully with your family and friends after reading, okay? So I did include in your grab and go bag a little craft that is based on a poem that Miriam, one of the characters in the book, writes at the very end of the story for Omar. And the final product should look something like this. So it's going to be a little garland that you can hang up on your wall somewhere, and it just has a little poem on it that you can remember the story by, and I'll just read to you what it says. So it says, "Be like a star, shine your light, shine your story, for stories will lead us home." So maybe you can look at this when you're feeling sad or feeling, annoyed by having to go to school, or, do an assignment you don't want to do, or if you just feel kind of down by life, right? You feel kind of in the dumps, bummed out by something. You can remember to be like a star and shine and tell your story and, share your feelings. And remember that all stars are different, right? We all have unique gifts that we bring to the world. And no one's gonna know that you have them. No one's gonna benefit from them unless you shine, unless you be like a star. And you'll see that the title of the book, When Stars Are Scattered, is because there are many times throughout the story that Omar will look up to the sky, look up to the stars, and imagine his parents looking down on him, and imagine a better life for himself and his family. Because in space, in the stars, the possibilities are infinite, are endless, right? There's a lot of hope in the stars. So this is the craft for this month. I hope you enjoy it. And I wrote on my stars with marker, which you're welcome to do, but I also included some printed out text for you that you can either glue or tape onto your stars if you'd like. And I chose these words from Miriam's poem, but if you like other words better that you'd prefer to have on your stars, absolutely, that is your choice. All right. So that is our Kind Club this month, everybody. I hope you really love When Stars Are Scattered. And thank you so much, as always, for being a part of Kind. So we will hope to see you soon. And I know I forgot this time to put some discussion questions in your bags. I will email those to you. I apologize. To help facilitate conversations in your family. So thank you so much. We're gonna be skipping the month of May. So that is your choice of whatever you'd like to read. And then we'll start back up in June. We're actually gonna be trying to read some short novels, some short chapter books that have diverse characters. And we are also going to be trying out a Zoom in addition, really, to doing a pre-recorded video. So we're going to see how that goes. I've heard from some families that you would prefer to do a live Zoom discussion, which I am definitely open to. So we'll give that a try over the summer. All right. But please, if you read this book, come into the library, let us know how you thought about it. And just remember, if you joined us last month, to please return last month's book to us before you take out the new one. All right, so thank you so much again, and enjoy the book. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.